Fintech startups make up 36% of the market share of tech startups in Nigeria. 42% of funds raised in 2023 were by fintech startups. 3 out of 5 of the unicorn startups in Africa are fintech startups. Whether it's PiggyVest or Carowise, Paystack or Flutterwave, you would have definitely heard about one of these startups. So the question is, why is there so much attention on fintech startups? Why is there not as much attention paid to areas like health, security, and e-commerce by these startups? Well, let's talk about it. Hi everyone, Kelvin here. I try to stay updated with latest startup news in Nigeria as well as in Africa. And a trend you'll notice if you pay enough attention is the dominance of fintech startups. They don't only dominate in terms of things like funding and market share, they also dominate social conversations on places like Twitter, now X, and LinkedIn. So of course, the natural question is, why is there so much attention in fintech space? Well, the short answer is there's money in fintech. Of course, there's more to it than that. First of all, you need to understand the problem that fintech startups are solving. So making payments is not always reliable in Nigeria. Just a couple of weeks ago, GT Bank, the bank I use, was down during the weekend. You couldn't pay with your card, you couldn't transfer, you couldn't even log into the bank. And I don't use any other traditional bank. I ended up having to use Pocket App, a fintech application owned by PiggyVest, to make a transfer to get things like groceries and things I needed for the weekend. These are some of the issues, and this is where fintech startups come in. We have fintech startups like Carowise and PiggyVest that are making savings and investments accessible to the everyday person. We have applications like Chingera and Bitnob that make it possible to send money to other countries in Africa, because that's the other thing that is hard with financial institutions. Even sending money within Africa is hard. While these startups are solving all these problems, making payments easy and creating opportunities for investments, there are also obstacles that they encounter. The most obvious one is security. There are a lot of things that can go wrong when you're handling money. So the obvious challenge, first of all, is making sure that your infrastructure is secure and you can move money from point A to point B without any issues. The other thing is you have to deal with regulators, getting licenses and setting up a space. And there's a lot of bottlenecks involved to get past. But then a lot of startups still go ahead to create solutions for these problems. It got me thinking, how come they don't think also about sectors like health and e-commerce and others? I'll use 2 examples to address maybe some of the issues they encounter while they are trying to solve some of the problems in other sectors. So Fifth Forging was on a mission to provide essential genomics data on Africans. They realized that about 3% of all genetic material used in pharmaceutical research was African. So they were trying to create a biobank for this type of research. However, 4 years and $45 million later, they shut down. I remember when I saw the news, I was a bit surprised why a startup that seemed to be doing well shut down in such a short time. Now, I don't claim to know the full details of the story. You can read the Tech Cabal article in the description. But from what I gathered, it came down to 2 things: some internal disputes and capital. For internal disputes, there were issues with one of the CEOs suing the company, and there were also talks of excessive spending. But the other problem, which I think is the more important problem, is the capital. Genetic research is not cheap, and getting the equipment, tools, personnel that you need to carry out this type of work is expensive. So this is where you need the government to step in, right? But then you look at the budget for last year, and only 5.75% of the budget was for health. I mean, all you need to do is to go into any public hospital in Nigeria and you would see, well, the result of 5.75%. Jumia has been around for a while now. Jumia is an OG. Jumia is essentially a marketplace for buyers and sellers to trade goods and services. Jumia has been around for about 12 years and Jumia is still not profitable. In recent years, they have been cutting their losses a bit smaller, but still, they are still losing. They are essentially burning cash. I really hope that Jumia manages to succeed because I use Jumia a lot, first of all, and I think the problem they're trying to solve is an important one. But then it's a hard problem, and that's why they are still, 12 years later, they have still not solved that problem. And why is that? Well, first of all, Jumia is a marketplace, and then they also do logistics. So they get the sellers to place their goods there, and they have warehouses, and then they also deliver the goods to the customer. Logistics is hard. It's a hard problem because you have bad roads, and then there's also storage. Again, you have to still keep the price of delivery reasonable. It's a problem that has still not been cracked. In recent times, we have seen companies like Jumia Food shut down. We're also seeing Bolt Food exit Nigeria. I can go on. I think what I can take from this video is this. There are a lot of external issues that make it hard to solve problems in these other sectors. While payments is a hard problem to solve, the infrastructure for this is kind of there already. So it's an easier problem to try to tackle. But in places like health, e-commerce, security even, there is a lot of infrastructure needed that require a lot of capital. So anyone going into these areas needs a lot of capital. So why are there many fintech startups in Nigeria? Well, it's because money makes the economy go round. You need money every day, whether it's for transportation, payment of goods and services. You need money every day. But the other side of it is the barrier for entry to solve some of the problems in these other sectors require a lot of capital and infrastructure that frankly is not there yet. Anyways, those are my thoughts on this topic. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Please leave a like and subscribe. Until next time, stay safe. Peace.